Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for the Heart of the Creator Normal. This is the third new floor made available by patch 3.4 Soul Surrender. This guide will propel you to new heights of knowledge and allow you to cruise right through those pesky duty finder queues. My name is Mistech and I'll be your raid guide. When the boss casts Optical Sight, a few things can happen. In general, you'll have different types of AoE to deal with, so stay on your toes. Getting hit by these will deal moderate to high damage and put up a stacking vulnerability up debuff. The first involves players spreading apart to avoid overlapping their AoE markers. These are pretty big, so make sure you're running as far away as necessary to avoid doing so. Anytime an Ed spawns, the off-tank should grab him and face him away from the raid. Everyone else will need to destroy it as fast as possible. Spin Crusher is a frontal cleave that should be avoided by the tank. Run to the side or behind to dodge it. The next Optical Sight will force players out of the center of the room to dodge the incoming blasters. Move to the outer edge to avoid getting hit. Eventually, these pillars will drop down. Avoid getting hit by them, but stay close by. Anytime the boss casts Propeller Wind, players will use these pillars to hide behind. GA 100 will target the off-tank with a proximity-based blast. They will need to move away as much as possible to reduce incoming damage. The pillars will eventually self-destruct, and healers will need to heal through the resultant AoE blast. Eventually, the boss will cast Blast Off and turn into his ship form. He'll open up ducts that players will use to ride onto his back. Be sure to click on these ducts as soon as possible. If you're left on the platform, you will die, since the boss destroys the platform and then reforms it. Once available, players can click to eject and return to the platform. At this point, you'll need to avoid the outer edge of the platform. The boss will then cast Limit Cut and go immune. 4 Lapis Lazuli orbs will spawn around the platform. These must be destroyed as fast as possible. A number of clasters will spawn around the room. They throw out long AoE columns at players that should be avoided as necessary. Kernel Darkness. This is a high damage raid-wide AoE that should be healed through. This also causes the platform to burn any players standing on it for minimal damage over time for the rest of the encounter. If any Lapis Lazuli orbs are still up, you will die. It's also possible to entirely skip this phase if your raid damage is high enough before the first blast off. Players will need to watch out for left and right laser swords and either outrange or dodge to the safe side of the boss to avoid damage. The next time the boss casts Limit Cut, he will go immune and spawn a shield in front of him. This can only be destroyed from the front. Once the shield is down, he'll target the main tank with this marker and cast Blasty Charge at them. This will cause a bleed debuff on anyone hit, so move away from others to avoid excess damage. Eventually, more pillars will drop down and more clasters will spawn. Dodge the AoEs as necessary. The next Optical Sight will be a pattern of AoE blasts around the room and one final one in the center. In this phase, a random player can be targeted for prey and then targeted with 3 heavy-hitting blasts. Healers will need to heal these players while they move away from the group to avoid splashing damage on others. Continue dodging Optical Sight AoEs and hide behind pillars for Propeller Wind. You've seen every mechanic he'll throw at you so far, so it's just a matter of putting it all into practice. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we'll continue on into the Soul of the Creator Normal. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.